I've sat through a lot of meetings, and you have too. And everybody says, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this, we should do that. And I want to just flip the table over and say, so who the hell is going to be the first one to do it? Who's going to let it affect their pocketbook first? Because you say, and we can start naming names, Jimmy, we can. Yeah. And I would say, you can do it right now. You're the leader in how many kids play the sport under your umbrella, you people over there. Say you're doing it, everybody else will. Yeah. And we're talking the recreational side, the travel side, all of it. If the two biggest boys in the room or girls in the room on each side of that, who will remain nameless, will just say, hey, we're drawing our line in the sand. Boom. You can't play more than X amount of games in a season, and we're all going to work together. You're going to have a national, we push this at USA Baseball. We wanted a national player identifier like other sports have.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Clearing the Bases, the podcast where we step up to the plate and dive deep into the world of youth baseball. I'm your host, Jimmy Filangieri. On this show, we discuss all things related to the preparation and development of youth baseball players, coaches, and yes, even parents. So sit back, settle in, and get ready to hear from some of the greatest baseball minds out there.
I learned how to work. I learned how to recruit. I learned how to handle myself on the road. Learned how to coach. Man, I essentially owe my whole career to Rob and, to Kevin before that for even suggesting I get into this stuff. Had so much fun and met everybody. I mean, everybody. And so when I was there, I went over and worked camp at the University of Kentucky a couple times, and I met my guy, our friend, Jeremy Schieninger, when he was the assistant to the assistant ops director at Kentucky. We became friends, started working top 96 camps all across the country and having a good time. And, we'll fast forward a few years later. That's how I ended up at the ABCA. Mm-hmm. She's some of my good friends, and he's like, hey, I think you'd be good for this position. And it's all about relationships.
To be able to reach the highest levels of this game, you got to work hard. You got to get in the cages. You got to do your strength and conditioning. You got to throw your bullpens. There's all of this physical stuff that you need to do, and you need to work hard at it. But don't forget that you also have to get better at the mental side of the game. And one of the ways you can do that is increase baseball IQ by downloading and using the 6-Tool app.
For baseball coaches like you, every game brings measurable progress. However, game time isn't the time for trial and error learning. Instead, have a proactive approach. Use 6-Tool, the best baseball player development tool on the market. We provide a platform to level up your coaching strategy by helping you to quickly identify and address your players' knowledge of the game. By using our easy-to-implement interactive player quizzes, you can assess position-specific issues, overall baseball IQ, and much more. Win more games and develop better overall baseball players with effective off-the-field training. Visit us at 6-tool.com. 6-Tool. Get ahead in the game.
Okay, everybody. Today's guest is someone who has had a profound impact on the direction of baseball in the United States. Andrew Bartman is a nationally respected coach, educator, longtime mentor to coaches across the country, and one of the most influential voices in shaping how we teach and develop young athletes. Andrew spent many years with USA Baseball as the Director of Coaching Development, where he created and expanded the USA Baseball Coaches Certification Program that has raised the standard of coaching across the nation, and I know this firsthand because I have studied everything that he's created with USA Baseball over the years. His leadership has guided thousands of coaches towards a more informed, player-centered approach to teaching the game. He's also brought his passion and energy to one of the most exciting organizations in sports, the Savannah Bananas. In his role with the Bananas, he blends high-level baseball expertise with a commitment to growing the game through joy, creativity, and fan engagement. Beyond the titles, he is someone who truly cares about people. He's a connector, a teacher, a storyteller, and a relentless advocate for making youth and amateur baseball better for everyone involved. It's an honor for me to welcome to the show Andrew Bartman. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Oh my gosh, Jimmy! Man, thanks so much for that bio that I obviously wrote about myself with all that great stuff in there. Checks in the mail, bud. Yeah, that was very humbling. That bio was very humbling. I obviously, like everybody else, man, I don't think of myself in terms of being influential. I just, as you said, man, just like people and love our game and just love sharing with everybody. It's been a fantastic ride.
Well, you say, that, about being influential, and you really had no choice but to be influential with your job at USA Baseball. I mean, you've impacted so many coaches across the country by what you created. I had to say what the truth is. You know what I mean?
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. It was, man, it was a unbelievable 6 years there at USA and 2 years at the ABCA before that. And I've just been fortunate to be around a lot of great people who've always pushed me to be a little bit better every day. And I'm a byproduct of that. So it's been a lot of fun.
So let's jump into your background a little bit. So people who don't know your full journey, let's go all the way back, maybe even as far back as high school and then your college experience. And I know you coached at the college level. Take us through it.
Oh, man, we go back. I mean, first of all, how many guests have you ever had from the town of New Holland, Illinois?
I could say you're
300
the first.
people, 300. It's actually a village. It's not a town. 300 people in central Illinois in the cornfields and bean fields. And we lived outside of New Holland, about a mile outside of town, and closest neighbor a mile away. It's so flat, you can see Emden, Illinois, which is like 8 miles away. You can see the water tower from Emden, like from my parents' yard. Okay. So I had to, it was, in Millinois, you know what's weird? You know what's absolutely wild about this? A town of 300 people. I've had, the privilege of being professionally doing some things on a national stage, pretty cool stuff. My childhood best friend is 1 year younger than me, Matthew Boyer, and he's the assistant commissioner of the SEC.
Oh, wow.
Over baseball. So, and you can't say it's what's in the water because everybody's got their own well there. It's not city water. You got your own well at your parents' house. But, yeah, man, 300 people in New Holland, Illinois, and then went to high school in Lincoln, Illinois, 15 minutes away. Some alums of Lincoln High School, Kevin Seitzer, you remember that name?
Yeah.
Former Kansas City Royal, Braves hitting coach, Kevin Seitzer.
Yeah.
Is from Lincoln High School. Bill Sampson, former Expos pitcher, like way in the 90s, I think. Not Mark. Bill Sampson, but there's some dudes from the area, that little central Illinois area. I mean, Jim Thome is 40 minutes away. Joe Girardi is 40 minutes away up by Peoria. It's actually a really neat baseball area, that central Illinois hub.
So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there. Even though everybody has their own well, those underground wells, they must be connected somehow.
Tap into the same aquifer, right? Yeah. Right. So there's some really cool baseball land for an area that prides itself on being very basketball centric. I mean, there's a lot of really good baseball that comes out of there. So just blessed with great parents, blessed with a great support system, and just started loving baseball and played a little bit of basketball in junior high and then first couple years of high school until I wasn't as good as those other dudes that played it all the time, right? That could run faster and jump higher. And I stuck to baseball, right? And so then I played 2 years at Lincoln College, local junior college, for Tony Thomas and John Stolzenberg, two awesome humans who are friends to this day. Then I played for 2 years at McMurray College in Jacksonville, Illinois, Division III school. I was a left-handed hitting catcher who could really catch it, throw it a little bit, and not hit, and definitely not run. You see me, I can't run. So played those 4 years, man, and it was, man, I really liked college. I didn't really like school, and I didn't do well in college until it was like time to work in my major, what I was wanting to get into. Like I wasn't into taking college math classes and science and all that. So I just wanted to get into be a PE. I was going to be a teacher. I was going to be a PE teacher. I was going to coach baseball because I had been coaching in the summers a little bit, some youth teams, travel teams, Legion ball, coached Legion ball a little bit when I was in college. And then my senior year, my college coach, Kevin Best, sat me down. He was like, "Hey, like, what do you want to coach? What are you going to do when you're done?" I said, "I'll go back to Lincoln like every other kid. I'll just go back home. I'll figure it out. I'll get a teaching job, He said, "All right, let me just run a scenario for you. Like, you're going to go back there and you're going to be the freshman coach." Okay. And I know you love Pat, your high school coach. I know you love him, which, by the way, I didn't talk about Pat Haig, my high school coach, because he came my senior year and we went from 10-20 to 20-10. And he was such a huge impact on, like, I was down on the game a little bit. Like, the worst coach I ever had was the only one that played pro ball. Because he could just like, hey, here's how you do it. And then we're like, all right, can you teach us? He's like, no, you just go do it. Nah, thanks. Got it. But then Pat came in, right? Really good coach. Crushed it. So anyways, I had to rewind there for a minute. But Kevin sat me down and was like, you're going to go be a freshman coach. And then if things go well after a few years, you're going to be a JV coach. And then maybe 10, 15 years from now, you'll be the varsity coach. He was like, that's fine. Like, there's a lot of awesome dudes coaching high school baseball, got a good life. That's fine. He goes, but you really, really like to coach. You really want, like, you want to try to make a career out of it? I said, what do you mean? So he's like, you should think about being a college coach. You already know how to be a poor college student. Go be a poor college baseball coach, right? I had no idea what he was talking about. So he directs me to, like, the ABCA website, the NCAA website, like the job postings, you know, and I'm just sitting there, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And thankfully I'd met my wife, my now wife of 16 years. We had started dating at this time. And she's helping me with things like writing a resume and doing stuff that I don't know how to do. And so I applied for this job at Wabash Valley Junior College in Mount Carmel, Illinois, which is in Southern Illinois. And I like check out their website. Now we're talking 2006, 2007. Like, websites aren't really a big thing then. Okay. And I'm dating myself here. So I'm like, oh, these guys are really good. So I applied for the job. And like 2 days later, I get a phone call from the head coach, Rob Fournier. And I'm like, he's like, you come down and interview. I'm like, this is easy. This is great. God, I'm really cool. I know what I'm doing. Well, as you know, in baseball, everybody knows everybody, and it's all a relationship game, right? And I didn't put two and two together that the head coach there at this top 10 in the country Division I JUCO that has like 6 draft picks a year and 12 guys signed Division I every year. He played at McMurray College, and he knew my head coach, and he knew my high school coach, and like these guys all knew each other. I just thought I was really cool and had a good resume and had a great phone call. You know, but like, that's definitely not it. So I go down and interview and go down to Wabash Valley. It's a town of 9,000 people on the Southern Illinois and Indiana border. Like, Evansville, Indiana is half an hour away. Go down, interview, meet some of the guys. And this was, I was finishing up my student teaching in Williamsville, Illinois to finish my degree in the fall. So I'd be a December graduate. I was finishing that up. I go down to interview and get done. And Rob's like, hey man, I want to offer you the job. It's $2,000 in a free room at the dorm up here. And we use the term dorm loosely, right? It's a one-story building. All the doors face out. It was a motel essentially for baseball, basketball, and women's basketball. And there was one coach from every sport that lived up there with players. I'm like, cool, I'll figure it out. He goes, you can substitute teach, you can ref basketball, do whatever to make some extra money, work camps. I'm like, all right, sounds good. So I talked to Nicole and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. We'll figure it out. And I start driving down on the weekends. He's like, start in January. Like, when I'm in. It's like, I want to get going. So I would go down, get done student teaching Friday. They'd let me bounce out early. Bang, I'm down there in 3 hours. We're at Saturday scrimmages. And I go that first Saturday, and there's like 7 scouts there with radar guns, and they're all pro teams. And there's dudes throwing 92 back in 2006. And this is like, you're going to be a top 5 rounder. I was like, this is like a dream come true. Like, I always loved baseball. I wasn't that talent level, right? But now I get to just be around it all the time. Yeah. This is awesome. And then you coach at a high level JUCO. All those Division I, Division II coaches, man, they want to be your buddy because you got those really good players. So I get to meet all these people and build a network. And I tell you what, at Wabash Valley College, Rob Fournier, he ended up going into the National Junior College Association Hall of Fame, like 1,100 wins, so many draft picks. Can't even tell you how many. He's now the recruiting coordinator at Western Kentucky with Mark Reardon. Mark was at Iowa Western. Those 2 JUCO dogs would face off in the district tournament every year to go to the World Series. Yeah. Now they're coaching together. You got 2 JUCO Hall of Famers on staff. And guess what? They had one of the best turnarounds in the last 3 years in Division I. You know what I mean? Yeah. So spent 3 years there. Had a bunch of drafts. I was a pitching coach. Classic 22 to 24-year-old that thought he had a lot of things figured out. And I just had really good pitchers. You know, that was it. We recruited. That was back when you could literally out-recruit people because the internet wasn't a thing. And you'd print off your MapQuest directions and go to this high school in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and drive around town and look for the stadium lights, you know, to go watch a game. And we could literally outwork people. We would go to more games than other coaches. We would spend more time on the phone. We would go do in-home visits for JUCO. Like, no one else was doing that stuff. Like, we wanted to win. We wanted to be really damn good. So like those 3 years was like that. If I could have just done that instead of going to college, I would have been even light years ahead of where I am now.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my apprenticeship, for lack of a better term, like a plumber, like an electrician, like that was my apprenticeship. I learned how to work. I learned how to recruit. I learned how to handle myself on the road, learned how to coach. Man, I essentially owe my whole career to Rob and, to Kevin before that for even suggesting I get into this stuff. I had so much fun and met everybody. I mean, everybody. And so when I was there, I went over and worked camp at the University of Kentucky a couple times, and I met my guy, our friend, Jeremy Schieninger, when he was the like assistant to the assistant ops director at Kentucky. We became friends, started working top 96 camps all across the country and having a good time. And, we'll fast forward a few years later. That's how I ended up at the ABCA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's one of my good friends, and he's like, hey, I think you'd be good for this position. And it's all about relationships, and it's more about relationships and not about resumes sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
So that's the way it is. So 3 years there, had done my thing, applied for some jobs, didn't get a couple, got some soft offers on a couple other ones, but that's back when those mid-major Division I schools, that they were paying you $10,000, in a car. I was up to $13,000 at Wabash at this time. All right, I was up to 13 in free living. It was a lot of fun. So, opportunity presented itself at Lincoln College. John Stolzenberg, pitching coach, left. Tony called me, my old head coach, who I played for, and he's like, "Hey, I know you won't do this, but the pitching job's open. I know you won't leave Wabash." And I said, "Well, what are we talking about?" So it was to be a dorm director, and my wife would be a dorm director in the female dorm, which are both full-time jobs. They would pay for me to finish my master's. They would pay for her to finish her bachelor's. Benefits, the whole deal. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So we went back home, essentially to Lincoln, and had some great friends there, had some great times there. Spent 2 years, turned that thing around. Tony's a fantastic baseball coach, really, really good technical X's and O's guy. And then myself and Isaac Cox will do the bulk of the recruiting. And we brought in some dudes, and we highest conference finish they'd had in, I think, 15 or 20 years.
Wow.
So we were a private JUCO in the same conference as, you may not know these places, but Heartland, Parkland, Lincoln Land, ICC, like some nationally ranked programs that are like all up the road. And we go in and compete with them. And it was, again, a lot of fun. So I got to coach at my JUCO alma mater. 2 years there, just like planned, got my master's. Nicole finished her degree. Then all of a sudden it was my other alma mater opened up at McMurray College in Jacksonville, hour away. Applied for that. Had some great references, obviously great recommendations. They've got an alum who'd been at a really high level junior college in the state, and then had helped turn around one in the state an hour down the road. So thought I had a good chance at it and ended up getting it. We go to Jacksonville for 2 years, and man, if I told you I inherited a dumpster fire, that would be an understatement. So they had done a mass, I guess, layoff of head coaches like a few years ago, including my head coach, Kevin, and they went all part-time for all their sports coaches.
Oh, wow.
Had a president who didn't understand, right? And then they went back to full-time for the coaches. And I inherited 4 returning players from a roster of 10 the year before that went 3-30. 1 Prairie Farms milk crate full of like brown baseballs. 1 set of uniform tops, and I think some belts. That's what I walked into, like in late May, once the JUCO season's over. So walked in there, man, just instantly went to recruiting, and it was real simple. I was put with the phone. I was like, "Hey, you want to play right away? You want to play right away? You want to start? They're not telling you can start. I'll tell you can start. I don't have an outfield. You're an outfielder. You have the opportunity to start." So, man, that was the hardest I ever worked. I think we signed 26 or 27 guys in 2.5 months, like to a D3 that had no scholarship money, no facilities, bad juju, bad karma everywhere. And we're just bringing dudes in. And we went 14-23 that first year, and they thought I was Tony La Russa. We're like, "Coach, your guys go to class. You did community service. You've got 2 uniforms. You beat Webster for the first time ever." Bill Kirch of Webster told me he used to, when they played in Jacksonville at McMurray, he would call Leo's Pizza in the 4th inning because he knew he would short game them. They could pick up their pizza before they went back to St. Louis. You can't do that anymore, Bill. We're going to compete. So,
I can tell you, I know that same feeling firsthand because when I was at Lord's High School, it's, I guess, what the term you use, dumpster fire. Same thing. No baseballs. Yeah. They don't have a baseball field, no bullpen, no outdoor cages, nothing. And
I guess we were better off. We had a field. The problem was it's in the middle of campus, and in the fall, they played soccer from the left field foul line to center field. So like the soccer benches were right on the back edge of the infield. Yeah. And it was just tore all to hell.
Yeah.
And it was like we go practice at another facility and then try to bring it back to life and put up the temporary fence in the spring. And oh, man. But that time at McMurray was my first time as a head coach. That's a learning experience. I don't care how prepared you think you are. You're not, you know.
Yeah.
And then we had a great circle of friends. Like all the coaches were like around a similar age from the other sports with similar age spouses and the admissions counselors were the same. It was a small campus, tight knit, whole lot of friends, big friend group there. It was really, really good times. And I turned 30 and we bought our first house, became a head coach for the first time. I talk about this a lot, but went through like we were pregnant and then we had a miscarriage and then we had our first baby. Like there was a lot packed into that 2 years. Sure. In Jacksonville being a first time head coach. It was unbelievable, just life training, you know, like it wasn't coming up the soft way. It was, you know, had to deal with some stuff and we did. So that was great. I know I'm just like a ramble at this point, but I've had so many stops. You told me to start way back when.
No, I want to hear the whole story.
So we did that at Mac and the AD that hired me at McMurray, he's like, hey, I'm from Central Kansas and there's a school there, Bethany College in Lindsborg. He's like, my wife and I are both from around there and their AD job just popped open. So I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm going to be taking that AD job. He's like, I think you would do well out there with scholarships, you know, NAI and a full-time field and, you know, uniforms and things. And I said, I don't know, man. And he said, just apply. He goes, I got no juice there yet. Right. But I'll get you a first round interview at least. And then you're on your own. So, okay, cool. So I'll do that. Out of respect for you, I'll do that. So I did a Skype interview. I still remember I did a Skype interview. Kendall was 7 or 8 months old at this time, our firstborn daughter. And so I'm doing Skype, and we're 1 hour from both sets of our parents, right? We're 1 hour. Keep that in mind. Skype interview with this random Lutheran school in Central Kansas. And they're like, hey, will you come out to campus? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I drive out and interview the next day. And I'm fully expecting to not get this job. But out of respect for my boss, you know, my former boss, I went out and the most beautiful little town of 3,000 people, Central Kansas, Lindsborg. It's a Swedish town, Swedish settlement. It's a tourist town. I'm talking cobblestone streets, little Main Street shops. It's beautiful. We called it Mayberry. Like you can leave your doors unlocked at night.
Yeah.
Right. Dane, we get done and Dane, the AD said, all right, we'll let you know something by Friday. Cool. Great. Appreciate it. I go on my way and Friday comes and goes. I remember we were sitting around the corner, I'm like, I guess we don't have to make a decision. Like nobody called. Saturday comes and goes. I'm like, I definitely didn't get it. Then I'm like, man, he could have at least called me and said, hey, you didn't get this job. Like common courtesy, dude.
Sure.
I'll never forget. We're at Walmart on like a Sunday night. Cause what else do you do when you have a 7-month-old? And, you know, we're there and he calls me and it's like, hey, we want to offer you the job. Everybody's really excited. And you need to let me know by like tonight or tomorrow morning or something. And I'm like, said, I'm no dummy, Dane. I know you offered this to 3 other people before it got to me. I said, I don't have any ego here. I'm fine being the 4th choice, dude. Oh, it's like a $9,000 raise to move 8 hours away from our family. Oh, can't wait. Like, let's go. So Nicole's like always been up for anything, right? Thankfully. And she's like, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So we go out to Kansas and I become head baseball coach and then associate athletic director also and adjunct faculty and supervising some like work study people. And like, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. So when you're associate AD and it's fall sports season, you got to go from your practice on Saturday and having recruits to supervising the football game or the volleyball match or whatever, you know. Small college life is not for the faint of heart, but if I worked in any industry in any part of the country and I need to just hire the right people, I would hire a small college athletics coach. I don't care what sport it is because they have a lot of FIO in them. They have a lot of figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Time management, fiscal management, budgets, travel arrangements. Like you don't have all the support staff that you have at the higher levels. And like, you just got to figure everything out on your own. So A lot of that at Bethany. Had 4 great years there. Qualified for the conference tournament, 3 out of the 4, which not everybody qualifies for that. Couldn't quite get over the hump. Had some talented players, and had also the birth of our second daughter, Micah. She was born in Kansas, in Salina, Kansas. So I got 2 daughters. I got a wife and 2 daughters and a female dog. So I'm severely outnumbered at home when I am home, but love them to death. And was at Bethany, and it was kind of getting to that 4-year stage, and tuition costs kept going up, and scholarships did not. And I didn't get some of the facility upgrades I thought we were going to get, and it was just kind of like spinning my wheels, you know. And then Sheets called, said, "Hey man, I told you I'm going to the ABCA." I'm like, "Yep," and I've been to the convention. I love the ABCA. Yeah, so we're going to hire a youth liaison. Like, I told him you'd be a good fit. I gave him 2 names. I was like, okay. So they bring me out to interview in High Point, North Carolina, right by Greensboro, and got offered the job that day, and called my wife and said, "I think we're going to be North Carolinians." So we packed it up and went to North Carolina. And I was at the ABCA for 2 years, did some cool stuff. We were working with USA Baseball on the coach certification program. So it started as a joint program called ACE, Baseball ACE. So the theory was USA Baseball would handle the online educational modules, ABCA would handle the clinics component of it. We got really close to the finish line, and there was a couple late contentious meetings with someone at USA Baseball who's not there anymore, and some folks at the ABCA, and it was like one party wanted to move a lot faster than the other. Will remain nameless.
Yeah.
And it ended up just being like, "Hey, you know what? I think we need to go our separate ways." And so I'm sitting there going, "Well, do I have a job now?" Because I was doing a lot of this stuff with them, and I think that person at USA Baseball said, "Hey man, why don't you want to go to lunch? We can talk this out." And sure. And it turned out that they wanted to keep moving forward with the clinics component of it, like regardless, just under their own umbrella. So that's how that happened. It was only like an hour and 15 minutes from High Point to Cary, where USA Baseball was. So that's what made it. I'm like, gosh, ABCA's dream job. Well, shit, this is USA Baseball,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you go from one dream job to another, and it's, I don't want to say apples and oranges, but I mean, it was a lot different. Bigger office, like ABCA, you're living for like 10 events a year, like some barnstormers in the convention, and USA Baseball was like, go, doing stuff. But the stuff I got to do there, the stuff I got to experience there at USA Baseball was so crazy. So crazy. World Baseball Classics and 18U World Cup that we hosted, and did a coach's clinic in all 50 states the last couple of years, hit every single state in the country. So I got to see the country and talk baseball with people. Like, what's better than that,
I don't think anything.
No, it was unbelievable. And big clinic, small clinic, major league club, or the boardroom of a petroleum company in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because that's where the Little League president worked at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't care, man. I'm gonna give you the same info, the same energy, the same guy every time. It doesn't matter. And we're doing that banana ball now, where it's like we're taking it to 45 or 46 different states this year.
Yep.
We could play another major league stadium, or we can play in Missoula, Montana in front of 4,000 people, but we're taking it to Missoula, Montana. So
yeah.
I haven't even got to banana ball yet. I've been yapping for 30 minutes. I haven't even talked about banana ball yet. If you want to talk ever, Jimmy, just go ahead and jump in. Like, you can put your hand up.
Well, somebody had told me very early on when I started this podcast is that let your guests speak. I was told that. Let your guests speak. Idea. Because nobody has come. They hear me every single show. They don't need to hear me. They need to hear you. That's why you're here. But one of the things that I do want to get into, okay, is, obviously what you did with USA Baseball with the coaching certifications and all of that, you must have a passion for, because I just like I do, for coaching education. Okay, tell us,
Yep.
How did that start? Coach development stuff. Why does that appeal to you?
I think just being a constantly curious coach myself, where I was always looking for the next article, and I was popping up in college baseball newspaper and reading in the early days of the internet. You're like, oh, there's all this information right here. And who some guy says something about Mike Marshall. Like, who is Mike Marshall? Oh, look him up, and you find it online. And who is this? And who is that? And you go to Top 96 clinics, you're with 7 coaches, and you're hearing them talk stuff during the day at camp. You're like, oh, that's a cool little point that he made. Like, I'm gonna put that in my pocket. But then you're having social hour after camp, and that's when you're really breaking it down.
Yeah.
And we don't sit around talking about our favorite movies, man. We're talking about hitting and pitching. What drills do you do? And how can this dude I've never met before that coaches at a D2 in South Carolina, he said something really cool about catching today, and I want to take that and I want to implement that in my program. Right? Baseball coaches are really big sharers. Like they're good with sharing. Like you're in the club. You're in the club. So I think that's kind of where it was born out of. And then get to go with USA, and we're doing the coaches clinics. And what really pivoted me into being more comfortable was COVID. And that sounds crazy, but we had to transition to the virtual coaches clinics.
Yeah.
And so I had to be on camera, not just in the small groups, be on camera. And I had to get like 4 to 6 different presenters every single week.
Yeah.
That's where that JUCO Rolodex comes out. That's where I'm calling sheets. Do you know this guy? I'm calling Butch Chafin. Hey, do you know this guy? Hey, I need a high school coach. Like, who do you got? Adam Mosley, who do you got for a high school coach? Hey, Brian Matson, who'd be a good so we leaned on our USA Baseball guys.
Yeah.
Right? I did.
Yeah.
Because, like, if B-Man says you're a good dude, you're probably a good dude. Yeah. If Butch says you know what you're talking about, you probably know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yep. So that's really where it came from. So I got to just sit and listen to hundreds of really smart people and see their presentations. And like, you may have tuned into 6 of them. I sat there for 80 of them or 85 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And for all your listeners, man, they're still archived on the USA Baseball YouTube channel. There's like 75 free virtual coaches clinics on that YouTube channel. You just go to USA Baseball on YouTube and find it under coaches. Yeah. But just got to listen to all these people. And then I got kind of forced into it. I'm like, I'm the facilitator. I'm just a JUCO D3 NAI coach. Nobody wants to hear from me. Then a couple times, like a guy cancels, I just jump in and I've got a bullpen thing or pitching thing ready to go. Or I jump in, I start doing. So then I started doing practice planning. We went back in person. I started really ripping like a 20 to 30 minute practice planning session every clinic. So if I'm going to go, I'll get the presenters, but then and someone told me at one point, Rich Moretta, great friend, he said, hey, like, you're the director of coaching for USA Baseball. You need to be talking.
Yeah.
He goes, I know you're humble and you don't think you should, but like, you need to be delivering some of this message. So that really spurred me to really hone it in, because I think the most important thing that people don't get, they all want hitting, they all want pitching. I save those for the end. It's like a showcase. You save the arms for the end. If not, the coaches will leave, right? So like, we're not putting outfield or base running at the end, so you have a chance to get up and leave, hitting or pitching. So practice planning, I hammer it at the front or the back, typically at the front because it kind of goes with the theme. Here's your handout. Here's the things I believe about in planning a practice, whether it be youth, high school, college. And I've taken a ton of info from smarter people than me and made that. Yeah. And it's a living, breathing document. And I'm going to go do it again. Even though I'm out of that game a little bit, man, I'm going to go help out the Pittsburgh Pirates December 3rd at PNC Park. We did one up there with them the last 3 years. They didn't have USA come in this year. I'm going to go up and help them with it. And I'm like fired up to get back in that space and deliver the message.
Yeah, I can tell you that, our local USA Baseball community clinics, I did the same thing. I did the practice planning portion of that clinic. And I love it. I would rather talk about that than, like you said, hitting, pitching, fielding, whatever, because I believe that that's something that, that most youth coaches are not very strong at their practice planning.
Yeah, they just haven't been taught, right? Or they haven't been taught about the importance of it. When you really break it down to them about all the value they can get, like the light bulb goes off. Yeah. And it's like, it's no fault of theirs. It just hasn't been a priority.
Yeah, exactly. So, I enjoyed doing it. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but I must have done about 4 of them or so. But, but the other thing that amazed me about it was that, like I said, because coaching education to me is paramount. I believe that not enough, especially youth, obviously youth coaches, not enough of them are curious enough to educate themselves. But when we used to do these community clinics, what used to burn me was we get like 10 coaches, Little League coaches, or, travel.
Because they got it all figured out already, Jimmy. They went on the internet and they found something that reinforced, that agreed with what they think is true.
Yeah. And
they're not curious, man. They're not critically thinking about how to get better. And then they're going to go 5-16. And then they're going to say, oh, these players, I'm like, no, coach, like, change your way of thinking.
Yeah.
Man, try to provide them the best possible experience. And when you start taking the ego out of it and saying, I need to be right, and start saying, we need to get it right, then you can have some real growth. Yeah. And then your players can really get something out of you. And if you could just get rid of the Facebook echo chamber where people only agree with the people they want to agree with and then they bash everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, my life is so much better that I don't get on Facebook that much, because like all everybody does is argue and yell at each other. And I'm like, man, there's like some good people out there. You wouldn't know by their online presence, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, with stuff like that, I always feel like, I don't like you. I don't jump in when people are barking at each other. The only time I'll jump in is when I believe that I could say something of value that both sides could appreciate, and then maybe I'll jump in and say, hey guys, why don't we think about this? But I'm with you.
Because you're not going to change their mind. Have you ever had you ever seen an argument online and then someone said, oh man, you're right, I was totally wrong? No one's ever said that, have they?
No.
Nobody.
No.
So there's no point. There's no point arguing. What is the old saying? I told this to a player one time. I said, it's better to keep your mouth shut and be thought an idiot than to open it and remove all doubt.
Remove all doubt. Yep.
Right.
I agree with that.
Just don't remove the doubt. Like, hey, just let them think what they want to think, man, and just go live your life. You'll be fine.
And that is so true right there. And I love that. But so, what's pretty cool is like you went through your whole history. And one thing that I want people to understand is, by listening to your history shows how difficult it is to climb that coaching ladder. It's a constant grind, and, it's not easy. You just don't walk into, the roles that you've had right out of college. You don't just walk into it. So you've worn all of these different hats. What would you say, which role shaped you the most?
First job, Wabash Valley College. If I would have been somewhere that let me just be average or below average with a head coach who would have just let me find my own way and not like teach me, I would not be where I am today. Yeah. No shot. Absolutely no shot. So when I say I owe my whole career to Rob Fournier, like I owe my whole career to Rob Fournier. Like, he literally taught me how to work. If you would have told me 20 years from then, or however many years it's been, damn near 20, almost 20 years from then, if you would have told me that back then that I would talk to him every single day today, I said there's no way in hell, right? Because he was just working me into the ground, and I didn't see it at the time.
Right. And
I thought he was just like, I was just his assistant coach, and he was, hammering me. But man, it was kind of making me into who I am today.
That's awesome. And it was your first stop, really.
My first stop, we were selling hot dogs at the basketball games. We were like, you do 6 a.m. weights, then you go to the office for a little bit. Then you have practice. As JUCOs, you practice noon to 2 or noon to 3. And then he'll be like, hey, White Sox scout just called. There's a kid in Cincinnati. Grab the car, go. And we didn't have a budget. We had unlimited gas from the school in these, like a 1989 Chevy Lumina and a 2004 Dodge Caravan. Those were the recruiting cars. And so you take the gas card. This is a funny story. It's like gas card roulette. So there was a Casey's one. If you probably don't know what a Casey's is, Casey General Store, right? It's a Midwest thing. Yeah. Blow your mind if you ever went there. It's fantastic. Casey's. There was a Shell, and there was like an Exxon, right? The 3 gas cards. So you don't know which one you're gonna get. So I'm going to anytime you go to Louisville or Cincinnati or Lexington, you got to go through the Hoosier National Forest in southern Indiana on Interstate 64. And man, there's not a lot of gas stations in the Hoosier National Forest. And I learned it the hard way one time, where like I almost ran out of gas. And I had like a Casey's card. I'm like, there's no Casey's around here. I got to get back towards southern Illinois. And so thank goodness, I don't forget how, I think I just paid like money out of my pocket that I don't even think I had, but found a way to get a few bucks in the Lumina and make it back. And like, that's when there's no podcast, there's no Sirius XM radio, there's no phones with internet, man. So you know what you did? You just ripped phone calls to recruits the whole way there and the whole way back, and maybe your wife every once in a while.
Right.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
That's what you did. And I didn't know that unless I went recruiting. One of the best things Rob did was, like, the first 3 days of me working for him, he took me recruiting. And he didn't say a lot to me. I just watched him work. And he was ripping phone calls all the way up to Chicago, mingling everybody at the event. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, it's my new assistant. Da-da-da-da-da. Ripping phone calls all the way back, and was like, good job, man. You ready to do this all the time? I said, I don't know what we're talking about. I have no idea what you even did today. It was crazy. So, yeah, I mean, you had to do, like, it would be like that. 6 a.m. weights, office, practice, drive 3 hours to go watch a kid, drive 3 hours home, get up and do it again. There was one day we did weights, and the dorms were like a 2-minute walk from the gym where the weight room was. We did weights. We're done at 7. I was going to go see my wife before she went to work, and up at the dorms. He's like, hey, let's go to the office. I said, yeah, I'm going to go up, get a bowl of cereal and take a shower real quick. He's like, why? We got practice in like 5 hours. I said, Yeah, I'm gonna just go up there real quick. He's like, let's go. We got shit to do. We got stuff to do. I said, who are we calling at 7:00 in the morning? You're not calling a scout. You're not calling a coach. I didn't say that to him, obviously,
Right.
my boss. But I was like, the hell is wrong with this guy? He's like, let's go. Let's plan practice. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, bud. So, like, it's his motor. He's got a motor that no one else has, and that's why he's been uber successful.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
love him to death.
yeah. I mean,
Love him to death.
Again, you have to be. I mean, I say this all the time, and I've said it on the show a million times. My day starts at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'm up, I'm in here, I'm on the computer, I'm taking care of all my baseball stuff. Then I go to work. I work a full-time job. Do that, then I come back home, and I mean, here we are, right? We're on the show. It's, we're not going to finish up here till 9 o'clock or so. And I've been.
Oh, I feel bad. I pushed you back another hour tonight too. That's my fault.
No. Don't be silly. You kidding? Believe me,
right.
it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying the point that I was trying to make there is that if you're going to be successful in anything you do, you got to put in the time. You just have to do it. You can't sit back and wait for it to come to you, right?
No, with at risk of being like the old man who shakes his fist at the clouds right now. There's a lot of kids that come out of. I say kids. A lot of college students that come out of. They come out of college right now, and I don't know if they've never had someone sit them down and tell them or not, but they come out with these very delusional thoughts in their head about how much money they're going to make working in the sports industry right out of college.
Yeah.
I hate using the word delusional because it sounds like it's a personal attack on them. It's not. It's just they're wrong.
Yeah.
They think they're going to walk into a crazy salaried benefited job right away, and I'm like, man, this isn't Google, this isn't Amazon, this isn't some of those places. Even there, you got to pay your dues, but here it's even more so because employers know that you want to work in sports because it's fun.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of competition. There's a ton of people that want to do what you want to do. And you need to find ways that you can provide value outside the scope of your job. And I don't think a lot of them right now are not used to doing that. They just, what's my task? Okay, I do it, done. And I don't know if it's a technology thing or what, but the human interaction side of it, they're just not good at it.
Yeah. I can tell you a funny story. When Lords hired me, went through the the interview process, went through all of this stuff, and they hired me, and I went there and running practices and doing this. And one day the AD said to me, he goes, Jim, stop in my office before you start practice. It's like, oh, what's up? He goes, do you care how much money you're getting paid? He said, you never asked me. Like that. So I said,
I just want to coach, man. Just want to coach.
I looked at him and I just said, look, I said, I don't do this for the money. I know there's no money. I said, okay, what are you paying me? So he told me, and I said, okay, great. I got to go run practice. I went out the door. I mean, there's no money in it. We all know that.
No, it's because you love to do it.
Exactly.
You love to serve, right? And that's the word that gets lost a lot is serve. Like the minute you start serving your players more, it's like anything else in life, man. You serve more, even more comes back to you. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right. You find value in that. I'm sure you find value in serving your players.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not, I always tell my players right off the bat, a lot of what we do here, guys, I said, is really not about baseball. It's about life. Okay.
Correct.
That's what we're doing here. And I'm teaching you, that, we'll use accountability. Okay. So if you make a mistake, okay, I'm going to teach you that, number one, it's okay to make a mistake. We all make mistakes. But I'm going to show you how to recover from it and put it behind you. Okay? And yes, that has to do with baseball, but it also has to do with what's going to happen to you outside of baseball when you get a job. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. No doubt. I hate to bury the lead here, but I kind of end every practice planning session where I'm just talking just coaching in general stuff, right? And I'm like, honestly, your true win-loss record, if you are not at the high school, varsity, college, professional level, your true win-loss record is how many players play again next year.
Yeah.
Right? Did you provide a great environment that they got better and they enjoyed the game they want to play next year? If you're a dude that we went 8-3 and you got 2 kids coming back from your high school JV team, what's that say about you as a coach?
It don't say much.
Right? What's it say about you as a leader of men? That's the other question.
Yeah.
So how many kids came back to play next year? And then the thing that we got to remember is the real impact of what you do. It's like the old proverb that A true man like plants seeds to a tree that he will never feel the shade from. Man, your true impact's not going to be felt until the players you have are husbands and are fathers and are adults in society, and they can say like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Coach Jimmy taught me this. I'd be letting Coach Jimmy down if I didn't do X, Y, Z, right? Like if you can instill that type of just humanity and that type of leadership into those guys, that's when you're really going to see that impact.
Yeah.
And it's going to be years down the road. You just got to trust that you're doing the right thing and you're putting on the right path, and they're going to follow it.
Right. And that goes back to, what we're talking about with you and coaches' education, because, if coaches aren't taught what you just said, then they think it's all about wins and losses, and,
Yes.
How many games do I win? How many? Oh, we're going to go play for that guy. He wins a lot of games. Okay, that's fine. But, and I see it at the high school level all the time, is you get these guys, especially with travel baseball, they play travel ball, and they're talented players, and they all play on like one team, and they're beating the hell out of everybody that they're playing. And then when they get to me at the varsity level, they don't know how to run the bases. They don't know how to bunt. They don't know how to take routes to the balls in the outfield. They don't know anything. They've been getting by on their natural talent, and nobody has taken the time to teach them to how to actually play the game.
Because a lot of them don't practice. It's all game based.
Yeah.
And that's why I encourage guys during practice planning. I encourage guys to there's like a catch play game 21 where it's like you and a partner and you're doing points based off where you catch it at. I did as a college pitching coach, and the thing I love about it is not the command aspect of it. The thing I love about it is the players have to referee each other on the points, and they are not used to doing, I forget the correct terminology for it. They're not used to essentially calling their own fouls, calling their own points, because everything they do is structured nowadays. It's with a coach, it's with an official, it's in a school. It's not playground, right? But if we can instill some, like, we can't just give them that, but if we can instill some of that through some competition where we put them on the spot and they have to do their own, what's it called? Social conflict resolution, right?
Yeah.
With a teammate. Man, that's powerful stuff.
Yes.
Instead of me just standing there saying, that's 2 points, Johnny. Like, no, man, you guys figure it out. You guys go figure it out.
Yeah.
You can do some conflict resolution because they're not in a position that they ever have to do that.
Yeah.
And we had to, on the playground. Yeah. Call your own fouls. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, you could imagine how it was when I was a kid. You're talking about the 1970s. There were no there were no parents around. There was nobody around. Nobody. We did our own umpiring. We did our own, everything that you said. And we learned how to play the game, without.
Yeah, and if you got your feelings hurt, you disagree with the call, you still had to go face that kid the next day. You didn't just pack up and go to a different team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, it's different. I like to say, like what you described, I like to say that kids nowadays are being paralyzed by being overcoached and by fear of making mistakes. And
completely agree.
They're just paralyzed. Where
I completely agree. They've got performance-based love from their parents a lot of times.
Yes.
And they're chasing perfection by a youth baseball coach who's demanding perfection. Like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Professionals make mistakes. 9-year-olds are definitely going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Man, but are you just teaching them how to play the game and how to love the game and how to be a good person? Like, that's all I want to know.
Yeah.
I walk in every single time I go into my daughter's parent-teacher conference. My wife rolls her eyes. Every single one we go into since I'm there in kindergarten. I go in and I sit down and she looks at me and the teacher's like, here's this test score and here's this and here's that. And teachers have an unbelievably hard job, and I'm not going to tell them how to do their job, right? Like, some parents are demanding X, Y, Z. I'm like, you take care of that. We'll take care of here. We'll work together. But I sit down and say, hey, that's all well and good. I appreciate what you do. Thank you so much. I got a few questions for you. And they're like, they tense up. I said, is my daughter a good person? Is she a good friend? Like, does she include everybody? Does she respect you? Does she listen to you? And like, is she mean to other kids? That's all I want to know. Yeah. And they're like, and then they exhale. They're like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, great. I'm like, cool. That's all. That's really all. In elementary school, that's all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. And
she knows how to read. She knows how to problem solve. And to be frank, she's not an asshole. Like, that's all I really care about. Like, she's the first one to help, to want to help. She's the first one to like add a new friend and include people. I'm like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, along the same lines, I remember when my kids were young, like they would go over to a friend's house or whatever. And, my wife would go and pick him up and say, did he behave himself or did she behave herself? Was everything? They
Right.
said, listen, your kid's welcome in my house anytime. Everything is please. Everything is thank you. No problems. And, you walk out of there beaming because, again, that's what it's all
That's the
about.
greatest compliment you can get.
That's it.
It's the greatest compliment you can get. You're raising good people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know we got talking about that, but I think it's just because kids can't call their own fouls. That's how we got on that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, look, let's face it. Those are the things that I want people to hear. I want them to hear your perspective on that. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let's talk a little bit about long-term development. Okay, so what's the plan? How do we take them from? I mean, nowadays it's insane. They take them from like 4, okay, and get them all the way through high school and develop them. How do we do that?
This is where I'm stuck because I've sat through a lot of meetings, and you have too. And everybody says, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this, we should do that. And I want to just flip the table over and say, so who the hell is going to be the first one to do it? Who's going to let it affect their pocketbook first? Because you say, and we can start naming names, Jimmy, we can.
Yeah.
And I would say, you can do it right now. You're the leader in how many kids play the sport under your umbrella, you people over there. Say you're doing it, everybody else will.
Yeah.
And we're talking the recreational side, the travel side, all of it. If the 2 biggest boys in the room or girls in the room on each side of that, who will remain nameless, will just say, hey, we're drawing our line in the sand. Boom. You can't play more than X amount of games in a season, and we're all going to work together. You're going to have a national, we push for this at USA Baseball. We wanted a national player identifier like other sports have.
Yeah.
Little Jimmy's number was like 687, and any event, all the event people, all the different people, from Little League to Perfect Game to Babe Ruth to Pony to USSSA, they all had to use this identifier, and we could keep track of how many games this kid's playing, because it does us no good to have a pitch count rule in Little League if we don't have one in USSSA, or if they don't talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
To where the national governing body could have it all in one place for the long-term health and development of players. That's what we need to have, a national identifier. I know Devin Morgan's really pushing that as well with Driveline. I know some other folks are too, but I'm a huge proponent of that. If we can get to that point, it'd be great. But you know what needs to happen? The big boys in the pool need to stand up and say, enough's enough, but they won't because it affects their pocketbook. Or parents need to say, you know what? Enough's enough. And no, my 10-year-old's not falling behind by not playing 75 travel games this year.
Right.
Like, I love travel ball light. I love play a rec season and play with a team that goes to like 2 to 3 tournaments and has practice once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's my perfect scenario for a youth baseball player, if it were me.
Yeah.
I was coaching my daughter's 8U rec softball team a couple years ago, which is harder than coaching college baseball.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun. But people knew my title, and they're like, oh, no, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to be the least crazy parent here, actually, because I've seen it.
Yes.
And at the end of it, the assistant coach, she's like, hey, we're going to start a 10U travel team next year. Micah needs to be on it. And I go, nope, not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll fall behind. I go, the hell she will fall behind. She's not falling behind anybody. I don't care. She don't care. She barely likes playing right now. I'm not going to screw that up,
Yeah. Yeah.
Parents either need to stand up and say enough's enough, and I don't care if the Joneses down the street are going to the Panama City Elite Bronze Medal Coconut Invitational, and we're not.
Yeah.
Save your money, save your kid's arm, save your sanity, and take them somewhere so they can get a couple hundred swings in the cage, get 50 ground balls, and that's going to be worth more than playing in another tournament.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I got to tell you a funny story. I've been a big proponent of community-based baseball. Okay, I'm sickened by what's happened to all of the community baseball leagues, the rec leagues. Okay, they've been devastated.
I played rec baseball in Lincoln, Illinois.
So did I.
How it started.
So anyway, I've been trying to get on these local little league boards. So I finally got on one. Actually, I'm on one, and another one has asked me to come and work with them to try and help them to get the league back to working well. So anyway,
Yep.
I go to my first meeting just the other night, and they're talking about stuff, and I said, okay, guys, I said, in that situation, you could do this. Yeah, we know about that. Okay. Something else comes up. In that situation, you could do this. Oh, no, coach, you don't understand how hard that is. And I said, no, I do. Okay. And I know how I can help you with that. All right. Well, we'll talk about that later. And my point is that, all right, I'm not a genius, but I've been around a long time. Like we talked about before, I've studied the game. I know exactly what can help them. And they brushed me off. And I'm saying to myself, and I talked to the president of the league afterwards. I said, listen, I'm here to help you. I said, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm here to help you. If this is what I'm going to be met with, then you don't need me and you're going to be running down the same road again. But
you got to have an audience. That's the thing.
You got to be willing to change.
Dudes in the room. Correct. And it's a runaway train. Someone asked me quite a few times about why USA Baseball can't be more like USA Hockey or USA Soccer in terms of how their national team is over. And I said, because USA Baseball, I mean, through no fault of theirs, they didn't become the national governing body until 1968 or 72 or something. And by that time, youth baseball is a runaway train. I mean, Little League had already been in existence for how long, and Babe Ruth and Pony, and then USA comes in late as the governing body. And it's like, you're going to try to dictate something to programs that have already been going for years. And they do, USA Baseball does a great job of providing amazing resources for so many coaches, for players, for fans. They got parent resources now, umpire resources. They do a fantastic job of that. It's just, I don't think they have the ability right now to essentially dictate or legislate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about that with the ABCA many, many times that, they can come up with everything they want, but they can't mandate it. And, I do understand that because, like we said, the people that are involved in USA Baseball, the coaches that follow USA Baseball, and even the ABCA, those are guys that get it. Okay. Those are guys that understand. They're guys that want to better themselves. They want to become better at what they do. The problem that we have is reaching the guys who don't have that mindset and try to convince them that, they need to, maybe get A certified at USA Baseball. And wait a minute, I always get it
at a minimum. That's why I said at a minimum. A, it's intro to baseball coaching, hosted by Joe Madden. It's first aid and safety. It's introduction to pitch smart, right? And it's I forget. There's a fourth one. I think gone less than a year, man. I don't even remember anymore. And it's the fourth. But I said everybody should have to take intro to umpiring too, because if you want to say that the umpires don't know what the hell they're doing, usually the fans and the coaches are wrong, and the umpires do know what they're doing, but they just won't admit they're wrong.
Exactly.
But I've umpired before. I've umpired banana ball before before I started coaching it. I've umpired 8U, I've umpired 12U, I've umpired high school, and it's so funny, man. I used to ref basketball too, and I was a poor college baseball coach. These fans, man, I don't know where it came from that they feel like they are so entitled to just completely. That's a whole other tangent we can get on about abusing officials and why you're not going to have officials for your games because people are sick of your crap, fans, parents.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't get to have a bad day at work and go take it out on the dude making $40 to call your kid's 12U game. You're a loser if you do that. You need to go check the mirror.
Yeah, you want to see
brutal.
You want to see me lose my mind? Have a player or a parent bark at an umpire during one of my games.
Yeah.
You'll see me come out of that dugout like a lunatic,
Guess what? I said earlier about you're never going to change somebody's mind online, right?
Yeah.
You ever seen an umpire go, oh, you know what? That parent was right. I'm going to completely change this now. Man, I'm so glad they yelled at me and told me that. They are so correct.
Yeah.
Man, my strike zone is terrible. What was that was at his face. On the film, it's his belly button. But, that's beside the point. That parent was so right. I am an idiot. Yeah. I should never do this ever again. Yeah. Okay, see ya. And now guess what? You don't have an umpire next week.
Exactly. And
you get nothing out of it. You get nothing out of it except pissing off the umpire. That's all you get.
Yep. And
it makes no sense.
I've used the exact same story to tell my parents and my players that. Do you think if I go out and I argue, he's going to say, you know what? Jimmy's right. Everybody, Jimmy's right. Let's change the call because he saw it better than I. Jimmy knows. That ain't going to happen. He's going to say, shut up and get back in the dugout.
There was one time, trying to think of where we were. I was coaching with Justin Fuller at McMurray College, Fulls. We coached together at Wabash, and we coached together at McMurray. And we were roughing basketball, man, in West Central Illinois. We were crushing. We were doing like small school varsity stuff, big school JV. Like, I love roughing basketball. I would lose about 20 pounds in the offseason, make a couple grand. Life was good, you know?
Yes.
And so we're roughing. Gosh, I remember the name. It was Brown County or where it was. Anyways, if anyone's listening from West Central Illinois, you'll know what I'm talking about. This coach, we're going up and down. This coach, I missed like a hand check or something. And coach is losing it, or a 5-second or something. Coach is losing his mind. We're up and down, up and down. Finally, there's a dead ball, and I'm right by his bench, and Fuller looks at me and like asked me if I wanted to switch, so I didn't have to get the earful. And I'm like, nah. Coach is here just barking my ear. I turned around and said, yeah, man, like 2 minutes ago, I missed that with his hand on him. I said, I'm going to be looking for it from now on. Thank you. And he just went like this, and he goes, no one's ever done that before. I said, yeah, dude, I'm a coach. If like a baseball umpire missed it, I would, and he could admit it and then say he's going to correct it, I would appreciate that. So I thought you might too. He goes, I don't know how to respond to you right now. I said, why don't we just laugh it off? And if I tell you that 6 more times tonight, I got a problem, right? I missed 6 of them. But I said, how about you just let this one go? And I'm telling you, I'm looking for it, and I know I was wrong. And he goes, well, gosh, like flabbergasted, like, sure, man, thank you. I said, yeah, you're welcome. Bye. Didn't have a problem the rest of the night. It was great.
I love that. That's fantastic.
But you have to be able to, man, can you imagine a world where coaches could admit, like, hey, you know what, maybe I don't have it all figured out. Maybe I need to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Where would we be at as a sport and a society if that would happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to be right on the internet. I can listen to other people, and my coaching philosophy can evolve every day, every season, if it stays the same every single season, you're doing your players a disservice.
Yes. Yes.
You don't need to change what you do in the middle of the season. You don't need to see a new drill on YouTube and then implement it the next day, right? But you should like take stock at the start of the season and the end of the season. So actually start, middle, and the end, and say like, what's going well? Okay. What's not going well? What are my challenges? What are my pluses? What are my minuses? All right, cool. How do I accentuate those pluses? How do I, as we say in Banana Ball, how do I plus the experience for these kids?
Yeah.
How do I plus the experience? Like, what's going good? How do we take it to the next level and not be okay with just it being good?
Yeah.
Then, okay, this is not going well. Like, what do I got to do to get out of this rut to get back to neutral and then get it to good?
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden you have way more pluses and minuses. You probably got a better team.
Yeah.
Or they're probably having a better experience.
Yeah.
So like, you've got to be able to do that very, very difficult, very challenging, intrinsic look in and say like, what am I doing well? And then what am I not doing well? That way I can make it better for my players, because that's what it ultimately should be about.
Yeah. Yeah. When I finished up the fall season with I don't like to call it a travel team. It's a baseball school, because we practice much more than we play.
That's fantastic.
We practice maybe 6 times before we play a game. I just don't want to do that, every weekend playing. The kids don't learn anything. But anyway, at the end of the season, I sent out an email to the parents and said, please do me a favor. Send me an email back and tell me what I did that you liked and what I did that you didn't like and where I can improve. I want to know. I'm not egotistical enough to say I do everything right and I'm a genius. No.
Yeah, and you'll know who's taking it personal and who's not, and who,
Sure.
If it's all about their kid and playing time, then they're not really taking it seriously. But
right.
If there's something that can look into, I mean, that's a really valuable exercise to do.
I want to hear it. I want to hear if I'm doing something that's not making you happy. I want to know that, because to your point, maybe I can do something different next year and everybody will be happy.
Right. No, that's never going to happen.
Well,
everybody's not going to. Not everybody's going to be happy.
That's a good point.
Man, if you just fighting the good fight, man, youth baseball coaches, I mean, just keep working and just keep trying to change those kids' hearts every single day. That's all you can do, man.
Yeah.
Make it fun for them. They're treating it like it's a business for 10 and 12-year-olds, man. Make it fun. The minute you insert competition in anything you do in practice, they're going to love it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Have a plan, make a practice plan. It can be for 5 minutes on your lunch break. It can be on the back of a napkin. It can be something, but just have a plan.
Yeah.
Use the USA Baseball Coaches app and make your practice plan in it. It's free.
Yeah.
It is free. Do it.
Yeah. And they actually
can't say
have
enough about the resources there.
They actually have pre-made plans, so you don't even have to think.
Pre-made plans and a drill library, and like you can just choose outfield drill, and it'll give you beginner, intermediate, hard. Just go look at it, and it's there for you if you take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I hope that coaches around the country and around the world, whoever's listening, will, man, if one coach does that and is better prepared, and all of a sudden there's 12 kids that all play again next year, and then this was worth it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So, okay, so you mentioned a little bit about coaches, what they can do to be better, and one last question, okay, and then I'll let you go. Parents, if you had a message to parents, okay, what would it be?
Let coaches coach. If you're an accountant, I don't tell you how to be an accountant, and I don't have an opinion on your accounting, like, ability. And if you're that's why, like I said, the kids' teachers, like, I don't go in and tell them how to teach.
Yeah.
I'm not the teacher. You are. Like, we have roles in society, right? Like, I'm the coach. Let me coach. And as the older they get, the player needs to speak for themselves and come to the coach. I would much rather speak to a player, because players are way more realistic about their abilities than the parents are.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And especially as they get older, I want to talk to the parents. But like, parents, man, if you would ask a coach how you could support them better, a coach would fall over, because they don't hear that ever. All they get is dumped on, right? Because you have these illogical expectations for your child that make no sense to anybody but you. And the coach is just trying to get them better. And you think the coach is not meeting these expectations that you have set in your head for this child, without having a realistic conversation with the coach about your child's ability.
Yeah.
Because then if you don't like it, you're just going to pull them and go to another team. So how about parents? How about you let the coaches coach, and you have a realistic review of your player's ability? Even if it hurts a little bit, it's okay. It's better to be realistic. There's how many roles on a baseball field? There's player, there is coach, there is umpire, there is fan. You can only be one at a time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And parents want to be umpires, and parents want to be coaches. But, like, just be a parent. And, like, at the end of the day, when your kid gets in the car or right after the game, the first thing that you say to them every time should just be, I loved watching you play today. And ask them, did you have fun today? If you hammer them with, why'd you swing at that curveball with 2 strikes? We've been working on that. Blah, 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 blah. The kid's going to associate going to baseball with you being mad at him.
Yeah.
It's not fun at that point. And I'm not saying it needs to be all candy canes and lollipops and post-game ice cream all the time. I'm just saying, like, give your kid room to be a kid, and give them room to, like, decompress after a game and think about some stuff, and then approach it from an inquisitive way instead of attacking them as to everything they did wrong. Yeah. So be a parent, man. You love your kid, like, love them after a bad game too. It's not performance-based love, or at least it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, I said, I love you no matter what. Yeah. I just don't like you right now. And that's 2 totally different things.
That's right.
Right? I have unlimited love for you, and I will love you. Like, it doesn't matter what happens in your life. You come to me, I'm going to love you. There's just sometimes I don't like you. And it usually has to do with your attitude. It has nothing to do with your performance. So maybe that's the wrong thing to leave them with tonight, Jimmy. I don't know.
No, I think it's a great thing, especially that, like you said, when they get in the car, I love watching you play. That's got to be a staple. That should come out of every parent's mouth after every game.
No doubt.
I've told this story, and I'll say it quick, and then I'll let you go. With my son, like, when he was playing, if he had a bad game, he'd get in the car, and I'd be driving, so I'd look at him and say, hey, bud, so how you think you did today? And he'll go through all this stuff, and I'll say, you want me to tell you how I think you did? So I go, yeah, Dad, what do you think? So I said, you suck. He would start.
He asked for it. He asked for it.
He would start laughing. I would start laughing. I'd say, come on, let's go get an ice cream at dinner or whatever, and let's go, forget it. It's over. You know what I mean? But I think that, because he, obviously he knew I was kidding when I said that, but keep it light. Don't beat him up. That's insane.
No, that's what people do, though, man. It's performance-based love, and it stinks. And it's like, if you don't do that, people say you're soft. No, you're not soft. You just love your kid.
Yeah.
Care about your kid. Like, it's not hard, man. Like, you don't know what a 9-year-old's going to be when they're 18 or 19 or 20. You don't know what a 10-year-old's going to be like. I played with some freak athletes when they were in junior high that didn't play college baseball.
Yeah.
I played with some dudes who were like 120 pounds soaking wet as a sophomore. Ended up being a beast playing Division II baseball, playing pro ball. Like, saw on the recruiting trail all the time. Like, you can't predict the future. And man, if the parents would just let the kids enjoy it, everybody would be better. Everybody would be in a better mental place.
No doubt. Well, let me tell you this, okay? So I'm trying to think back, but this might be the first episode where the guest wore a bucket hat, and I love it, okay? The only reason
why... You know what's cool about this is you can also make it
look at that.
Cowboy hat.
That is
the Texas
awesome.
Tailgaters.
That's
baby.
fantastic.
And it's a snapback, Jimmy. It's a snapback cowboy hat.
Look at that.
Designed specifically for the Texas Tailgaters, baby.
Oh,
we love them.
I love that hat.
Stinks. It's been through a whole season. It stinks.
But I'm just thinking back, and I'm going to have to go back and check, because maybe Sheets might have wore a bucket hat when he was on, but I don't think so.
Yeah, but he didn't look this good in it.
No, well, of course.
There's no way. Funny story about Lincoln College, Lincoln, Illinois. I introduced Sheets to his wife when he came to work my camp at Lincoln College.
No way, really?
Lincoln, Illinois. Yeah, Chelsea. She was assistant volleyball coach at Lincoln College.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
That's
little stories, little nuggets everywhere, you know?
Well, Coach, again, I want to thank you so much. This was a great conversation, and thanks for coming on.
Anytime. Feel free to share in the pod notes or whatever. Anybody, my email address, if they ever want to reach out, or my cell number, man, it's simple. Bartman, Bartman at bananaball.com. 217-737-3593. Shoot me a text, give me a call. Happy to answer any questions, provide any resources I can. Any of you in the Northeast-ish, I'll be, or in the Rust Belt, I'll be up in Pittsburgh December 3rd at PNC Park with the Pirates for a free coaches clinic. So if you want to come up there, come on up. And man, Jimmy, I appreciate you having me on. I always love talking shop.
This was great. So you had mentioned it before. So you don't go on social media at all? Do you have social media handles that people can look you up?
Oh, dude, I work in Banana Ball. I have to have social media, right? So I just got a TikTok this year. I haven't done a ton with it. I got a couple good ones on there, a couple funny ones with the guys. They're like, hey, you need to make a TikTok. I'm like, all right, well, what do we need to do? So the one you might like, my pinned one with the most views, still not a lot of views, is the right way to throw the ball back to your fungo hitter. Because I got so mad at these guys airmailing the ball, and I got to bend over, and it's over my head. So I did one on that. That is Coach_Bartman, and that's also my Instagram handle, Coach_Bartman. And then I'm on Facebook too, and Twitter. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. I think that's all of them, right?
Yeah.
It's like the big four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So holler at me on social, and then happy to answer any questions. And no, I cannot get you Banana Ball tickets. Random fan that's going to ask me that in a Facebook Messenger, but I would love to see you at a game.
Alrighty, Coach. Thanks again. And we'll I'm sure I'll see you in January probably, right?
Yeah. Coming up, I'll be at the ABCA Youth Committee meeting Thursday. I just talked to Ryan today about what time it started, so I can book my flight.
Oh, okay. So I'll be there too. So
perfect.
Thanks again, and
got it.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
Now you know why I wanted to get Coach Bartman on this show for a long time. I mean, you just heard it. There are so many facets to him and his baseball career. You know, going from a college coach and working his way up. I thought that was pretty amazing the way he described, he was here and then he went to there and then he went to the ABCA and USA Baseball and now the Savannah Bananas. I know a lot of people look at the Savannah Bananas sometimes like it's purely entertainment. And I can tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. Those guys are top-level athletes. They're top-level coaches. Everybody that's involved with the Savannah Bananas is top-notch. There's a reason why they're so successful. But let's get back a little bit to his USA Baseball stuff, because for me as a coach, the USA Baseball coaching certifications and all of the information, their long-term development plans, all of that stuff that they put out there have influenced me greatly. And Coach Bartman was a big part of that coaching education that they put out there, which is so important. I mean, really, if you're a amateur coach, youth coach, high school coach, and you're not using USA Baseball's information to make yourself better, then, like I've said many times before, I don't know what you're doing, okay? It's there. It's put out by guys who are at the top of this game. Guys that know what they're doing. Guys like Coach Bartman and so many others that know what they're doing. And they're putting this information out there. Why? Because they want to see the game grow just like we do. We want it to grow. We want it to flourish. We want it to prepare our young athletes for wherever baseball may lead them, but more importantly, for their life ahead. So I hope you enjoyed the show like I did. I always do. I enjoy all my shows. But this one, to me, had a lot of good nuggets in it that will help you along the way. Go to USA Baseball. Check out their stuff. Go to the ABCA. Check out their stuff. The whole idea that we all need to understand is the old saying, you don't know what you don't know. Well, take a look at it. There may be things there that you said, geez, you know what? I didn't know that. And it'll make you better, and in turn will make your players better. So, if you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Visit the website at thectbshow.net. Listen to your favorite episodes, and please leave us a review. You can also reach out to the show on social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and get this, the old man has finally got us on TikTok. Keeps me young. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, please drop us an email at clearingthebases@gmail.com. Your feedback helps us bring you the best content and reach more people in the baseball community just like you. And also, let me know if you'd like to be a guest. Until then, coaches and players, keep practicing, stay positive, and remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.